What's up, YouTube? It's me, Morgan. I'm here again by popular demand to talk about how paying on my student loans is going and how I plan on changing up my plan for 2021, in addition to replying to some of the comments I received on my first video about paying on my student loans. So I really want to start off by saying thank you to all the overwhelming support I got on my first video. Like, that was my first YouTube video ever. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna link it above. But it was my first YouTube video ever talking about how I'm paying off $180,000 of student loan debt. And that video is now on its way up to, I think, 8,000 views. So I figured it'd just be cool to post an update on how paying on my loans is currently going and what I plan on switching up this year in 2021 to pay off my loans. Since my last video, I have paid off about 15% of my student loans. And I want to say, for reference, I graduated with $180,000 student loan debt. My parents took responsibility of $100,000 of student loans, and I'm responsible for $80,000. So at this moment, I have paid off about 15% of the $80,000 of student loans. And people want to be like, but your parents are paying off most of your student loan debt. And that's true, but I'm also like, I'm not apologizing because my parents love me. It's not everyone has the financial situation that, you know, their parents can help them pay off their student loans. So I understand that. So I am happy, and I thank my parents 100 times over in the previous video on them taking responsibility on that loan. On those loans. So I just wanted to put that insert there. Anyway, so like I said, I've paid off 15% of my loans up to date, and I plan on paying off the rest of my student loans in the next 2 to 3 years. So I'm currently living at home. I say that I make sacrifices. I live at home, and by staying at home, I save a lot of my income. So my monthly income primarily goes to paying on my student loans since I don't have to pay rent. So getting into the meat and potatoes of this video, I want to start off by telling you guys how 2021 is different than the previous year and a half I've been paying on my loans. So if you've been watching the news, you should know we're currently in a pandemic. And so student loans are still in forbearance. They've been in forbearance since, I believe, last March of 2020. So that has currently been extended through September of 2021. So I have been apparently one of the few people who still is paying on their student loans, even though I don't have to pay on them. So I remember reading online that 90% of people have taken advantage of the student loan forbearance and are not paying their loans, which is, you know, totally fair. I mean, if you don't have the financial situation to pay on your loans, then don't. I'm fortunate enough to still be working, so I'm paying on my loans. But I have been taking advantage of the fact that I don't have to pay my loans to actually pay on my loans. I have done nothing but pay on my principal of my loans. So that overall, by just attacking my principal amount, I am decreasing the amount of money I will pay over time. Some people are like, oh, you should take that money and invest it in Forex, or like, give me $100 and I'll put you in my blessing circle. In like a few weeks, you can beg 7 other people and you'll walk away with like $800. Also, stay away from that scam, by the way. That's an ongoing scam. But I choose to do with my money what I feel like doing with my money. At the end of the day, at least when I know I pay my loans, I know where the money's going. Paying your loans doesn't hurt you, so just like pay on your loans. Sorry, y'all. If you see something moving in my lap, I have my little puppy here. Well, he's not a puppy, he's like 3 years old. But anyway, back to the video. He's just, hold on, one second. As I was saying, since student loan forbearance has been extended through September, I plan on taking advantage of that by, instead of paying small amounts on my individual government student loans, I have 8, by the way, so I get 2 for every school year because there's 2 semesters, so 2 times 4 is 8. So instead of paying $50, $60 here and there on all of my loans, because they each have minimum amounts between like 25 and 30, I'm going to pay the sum of all those loans that I usually pay. So collectively, if I'm paying 50, 60, 70 here and there, it adds up to a couple $100s. So instead of doing that, I'm going to pick one loan that usually has the highest interest rate, and just attack that loan with the couple hundred of dollars that I usually pay on my individual loans on one loan. Let's say one of my loans is about $1,000 and I choose to put $400 on that loan. Within 3 months, that loan will be paid off. And then I can take that money and put it to another loan. And I plan to go down the list of my loans like that. So I'm going to keep attacking the loans that usually have the highest interest rates. So by the time I come out of the pandemic, hopefully the loans that will be left is the loans with the lowest interest rate. And I also just have less loans in general to pay off. But by the end of the student loan forbearance period, I plan on having paid off at least 3 or 4 of those individual smaller loans. And my overall goal to, achieve paying off my loans in 5 years is once I'm done with all of my student loans from that I owe to the government, I plan to just focus on my private loans. So I don't plan on pulling back on my loans. Some people would be like, oh, well, I'm done paying one, so I'm just gonna, just pay what I was paying on the other one and just not have to pay a larger amount. So for example, like if you're paying $800 on your public loans and you're paying $800 on your private loans and you're paying $1,600 in total, when you're done paying $800 on one, then you're just going to go paying $800. I would continue that $1,600 and just put it all on that other loan to pay it off faster. So for me, I see my loans as like a fixed expense. I put it in my budget. It's the first large purchase I make every month. Well, it's not a purchase, but it's the first large financial commitment I make every month is paying on my student loans. Another update I have that's in relation to my first video is that I have come a long way in perspective from where I was when I posted that video last summer. So it's been about, I don't know, it's been, who knows what the time period has been during this pandemic. I feel like it's been like, it's another 3 years, but it's been around 8 months or so. And I have a much different perspective about where I am in life versus what I thought when I posted that original video. So I was unhappy with where I was in life when I first posted that video because I mentioned in the video, I thought when people graduated college, I thought they made at least $60,000 coming out of school. And no one told me that ever. I just thought that's how much people made because that to me is the minimum amount that you need to like live by yourself, like without a roommate and be able to afford to do things on your own. So I was grossly mistaken about that. And I, once I understood how much people really made in my age group, I felt a lot better, actually. So in America, people ages 20 to 24 make on average $33,000 a year. And when I found that out, I felt much better because I make more than that. I'm not going to disclose to y'all, how much I actually make because that's none of y'all's business, but I make more than that. And so I feel considerably better. And also, with my degree, I chose a biology degree, and I want to note that my biology degree was never meant to be a terminal degree. Like, I always knew I was going to go to graduate school, I was going to do more, and I wanted to continuously excel, like, in my field. I knew I'd be making more money over time. So in reality, last August when I posted my initial video, I was just impatient. Once I started feeling happy about where I was in life and knowing, like, this is just a step in my overall journey, I started feeling a lot better about myself. So another item I want to bring up that people really commented on in my first video was community college, and I wanted to touch a little bit on that. So I actually recently took a class at my local community college. I took statistics recently, which was fun. And community college is also low-key expensive. I paid $600 for that one class. Like, they build in so many taxes and fees into colleges, like public, private, community college, that are unnecessary. I paid a $250 parking fee for an online class, and all colleges are like that. I mean, it's just unnecessary fees that they require. And so community college is a great option you're gonna overall pay less money if you stay on the path of community college and you finish in 2 years and then go to public school. But the issue is like state schools in general, the cost of attending a public state school is going up. Think of some public state schools, and some people are like, well, why didn't you go and stay to a public school? And they're still expensive. There's some public state schools in Virginia that cost $30,000 a year. And once you've graduated, 30 times 4 is $120,000. That's still a lot of money. That is still a lot of money. And when I said the average college student, I'm sorry, the average person ages 20 to 24 is making $30,000 a year, that's still a significant amount to go to public school. Like, this isn't a video about fighting the system, although the system needs to be changed, but college overwhelmingly costs too much for like what people are getting paid for their bachelor's degree. The cost of public school and state school now used to be the cost of like private school back in the day. So the cost of college is going to keep going up. So people can like yell at me about going to like private school, but like when I have kids, like they're going to be paying potentially $60,000 to $70,000 to go to public in-state school if something doesn't change. So just throwing that one out there. So something else I want to touch on, I posed the question, one, is college worth it? And was my private undergraduate degree worth it? And to me, yes, I feel like college is worth it. College isn't for everyone. Like, choose what path is best for you. For me, I knew I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to go into science. I wanted to do research when I was in high school. And you have to have a college degree, at least a college degree, to do that. So when I was starting to look at colleges, I chose my university because of the opportunities it provided there. Universities don't provide the same opportunities. I know some people want to be like, oh, well, just go anywhere. And it's not... It depends what you want to do, but not every university is built the same. Like, if you want to go to college and just like get a job, like it kind of doesn't matter where you go. But if you want to go to college and then you want to go into academia and research and get post-secondary degrees and, you know, really want good recommendations, it kind of does matter where you go, because there is a lot of politics in academia and in medicine. Business politics is more starts when you get in a job. It does help to have a good, you know, college that people recognize the name. But in some places, it does matter where you have a college degree, because people know the rigor that comes with that degree. There are times where, I tell people I go to Wake Forest and they're like, oh my gosh, like I understand, my son went to Wake Forest or someone I know went to Wake Forest, and they just know about the university and they know how much work we put into being successful students. It's not nicknamed Work Forest for nothing. There are people who respect my undergraduate degree and the work that I did, and they give me opportunities because they know how much of a hard worker I am based on my previous experience in school. So there's two things I want to leave you guys with. And the first thing is, like, if you are currently paying on your student loans, I want you to be proud of yourself, because it's the first real adult thing you're doing and you're taking responsibility for your actions. I know people, it's funny because people comment on my videos are like, well, you know, you should know what you did wrong, and like, you know, you need to take responsibility for your actions. Like, paying on my loans is taking responsibility. Like, I collected debt, I'm paying on my debt. What else do you want from me? I personally don't care. But it takes discipline to pay on your student loans. So like, if you're currently out there and you're paying your student loans and you feel discouraged, just keep paying on them. I'm proud of you. Dave Ramsey's proud of you. It's not an easy feat to do, and you'll eventually make it out of this. The second thing I want to leave you guys with before I tune out today is education is not a linear pathway. For me, I chose to go to a private school for college, and I have no regrets in where I went, and I plan on going to graduate school to get to where I want to be. Some people go to community college and then go to a larger university and institution and then move on to what they want to do. Life isn't linear. Jobs aren't linear. You can ask people how they got certain places, but people took different pathways. So just, you know, instead of worrying about your destination, just really enjoy the pathway you're taking and what works best for you. So with that, that's all I have for this video today. Have any questions, you put them down in the comments. If you like this kind of content, let me know and subscribe, because I won't be getting out of debt for at least a little while. I also will be posting a video about what you can do with a biology degree. So definitely subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when I post that video.